Hey everyone, welcome to Mr. Moon Designs. My name's Louisa. I know I'm a little late for this year's Dia de los Muertos celebration, but hey, there's always next year. And trust me, today's design is totally worth saving to your playlist. I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful Day of the Dead inspired necklace and earring set, and we're going to be using the beads that came in Sam's bead box for the month of October. Now, if you're not familiar with that box, I'll leave some information down below in the description section of this video, along with a link to the website and a coupon code in case you're interested. And don't forget that I always model my jewelry at the end of my videos, so please stick around for that. As you can see, this fun necklace and earring set is bursting with beautiful colors. It features multicolored agate beads at the bottom, along with a very whimsical skull pendant. And as you can see, it's an asymmetrical design to give it some personality. It's festive, bold, and full of life, just like Dia de los Muertos itself. And the earrings feature the same skull bead adorned with crystals and Czech glass. And I'm super excited about today's project, so let's go ahead and get started. And here we have Sam's speed box for the month of October 2025. As you can see, the name of the box is Marigold Memory. And I know I'm late, but I wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what comes in these boxes in case you haven't seen them. It's a subscription box and it goes for $49 a month plus shipping. Obviously, the box is no longer available, but I think they do sell some extras from the box on their website, which I'll link down below. But anyway, it always comes with very high quality Czech beads, gemstones, and metal components, usually worth way over $80 retail, so you get quite a good deal. But anyway, let me go ahead and take out the items. And here's the insert. They usually write up a little something about what inspired the contents of the box and a quick description of what's in it. And on this side is a list of all the contents. And as you can see, the retail value for this box is actually $92. And on the left are the retail values of each item. What pretty colors. We have some fuchsia, we have some orange, we have this beautiful blue. I love that. So now let's take a quick glimpse at everything. I'm not going to do a full unboxing because Sam's Bead Shop has actually done their official unboxing on YouTube, which I'll link down below so you can go check it out. Well, here's the entire collection, and I gotta say it's an absolute delight, but it's more than just a gorgeous palette. It's a tribute to heartfelt traditions, which is what's written here by Shira Dawson, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically this collection was inspired by her childhood memories of creating ofrendas or altars, honoring those who passed away and celebrating memories of them. But anyway, this box definitely captures the warmth of remembrance and celebration with all these beautiful colors. We have the flower beads, which I love. I like these ceramic ones as well. They're so pretty. And then we've got the skulls down here and a couple of hearts up there. And I love that beautiful agate strand at the top. And how special that we get some Preciosa crystals, these faceted bicones down here. The components are all really high quality too. They're from Greece and they're lead free. But I think my favorite out of all of these has to be these beautiful beads here. They're so gorgeous. I just love the color. Such a pretty color. And I like the Picasso effect on the side. Really, really pretty. My other favorite is this beautiful strand of amethyst coins. And I love the glitter on these goldstone drops. I know you can't tell because they're kind of dark, but they're a really pretty blue color. But anyway, guys, if you have time, I'd love to hear your opinion. And I'd love to hear what your favorite bead is. If you could leave some comments down below, I'd really appreciate that. So now that we've taken a look at the whole collection, let's go ahead and jump into today's project. Here are the beads for today's project. Now I know I gave you a quick glimpse and I didn't go over the sizes. So I'm going to go over the sizes with you real quick. And by the way, I do list the materials down below in the description section. I list the sizes, the colors, and everything. In this tray, I have some Druk rounds. I have 6mm rounds and I have this one little 4mm round in the orange color. The color of the 6mm beads is purple iris. In this tray, I have 8 agate beads. They're 8mm in size. And as you can see, I have a variety of colors. I chose 8 colors because I want to create like a gradient effect. And I'll show you how to do that in just a few moments. And in this tray, I have some focals. I have 3 skull beads, one of these center drilled Czech glass beads. And then I have this other one down here. The skull bead measures 16 by 19 millimeters. I'm going to use 2 of them for the earrings and 1 for the necklace. And this beautiful flower bead with the AB finish measures 16 millimeters across. And the packet actually came with 2 colors, amethyst and amber. And I chose the amethyst one. Here's the rest of them. As you can see, some of them are amber in the back because the back doesn't have the AB finish. And some of them are amethyst. But you can choose whatever color you want, obviously. And here we have a Czech glass marigold flower bead, and it measures 21 millimeters across. And the box actually came with 2 toggle clasps, and I decided to use a portion of one of them for a necklace charm. And here we have some 5 polished faceted drops. They measure 7 by 10 millimeters, and the color is Capri. And over here we have some Preciosa Bicone crystals. I believe they're 4 millimeters in size. And then we have these flower beads down here. They measure 7 millimeters across, and the color is magenta metallic luster. Now, in addition to these beads, obviously we're going to need some findings. I'm going to use jump rings, a lobster clasp, an extended chain, head pins, and I'm going to use some craft wire as well, but I'll bring that out in just a few moments. Now, one thing I do want to mention, I kind of struggled a little bit with this bead here. And when I say struggle, I mean I couldn't decide whether to wire wrap it, use beading wire, or mount it on a bezel. Ultimately, I chose to mount it on a bezel. I have one here, as you can see. I got these on Amazon quite a while ago, and I believe this one measures 13.5 millimeters across, and it has 2 loops, and it's smooth on the back. I'm simply going to apply some E6000 glue in there and then set the flower bead inside. And that should work out just fine. That's probably the easiest way to use that bead. But you could get creative and just wire wrap it. That's another thing you could do. But anyway, it took me a couple of days to design this, to be honest, because I kept changing my design. I kept arranging things and rearranging things and testing things out, making prototypes. But ultimately, I decided to make an asymmetrical design. So today's tutorial is actually very easy. The only complicated thing we're going to do today is to mount some of these beads on ball head pins to adorn these skulls. But that's actually not too complicated once you know how to do it. But let me remove these trays and I'll show you what I came up with. I'm going to start by lining up my beads in a gradient manner, the best way I can. So I'm starting over here with light amber, a medium amber color, darker amber, and then I'm transitioning to pink, a darker, more opaque pink, and then this one is kind of a cross between red and pink or magenta. This is a dark red, and this is a super dark red. And that's all part of the asymmetrical look. Now, obviously, you can mix the colors up. You don't have to do it like this. Now, the pendant's going to have the skull, and the top of the skull is going to be adorned with those Bicone crystals. And then I'm going to place a drop underneath like this. Let me just throw some Bicone crystals on top. And I'm going to have a couple of flowers as well. Maybe 3. I'm not sure. I'll have to decide. Let me just put these back. Actually, let me go ahead and move them this way to give you some idea. I'm going to place another drop on this side at this end and one at this end. And now I'm going to place a focal up here and this bead will go above it. And on this side, we're just going to have these 6mm rounds going all the way up to the clasp. And I'm going to have them over here as well. I hope this gives you some idea. Actually, this one has a little bit too much green. Now, even though Dia de los Muertos is over, pretty much, you could potentially wear this on Mardi Gras Day, which is actually coming up on the 17th of February. I think it would be a fun necklace to wear. And I'm going to place my little charm here, my heart charm, along with this bead. And that's pretty much it. Now the craft wire is going to be a gunmetal color, and that's because I want these beads to stand out. I don't want silver craft wire. And I'm not that concerned that the charm is silver, because actually it coordinates a little bit with that reflective finish, the AB finish. So let's go ahead and work on the pendant first. I'm going to clear my mat. Here I have some ball head pins and my beads. I have 2 of the Czech flower beads and 3 of the bicones. I was going to do 3 Czech flower beads, but then I changed my mind. Now there are a couple of ways to mount these flower beads. One way you could do it is to insert a piece of wire through the hole like this, and then bend the pieces upward, cross them, and then make a loop and do some wire wrapping. But I'm going to do it a little differently today because I'm feeling kind of lazy. I'm going to actually use a ball head pin. Let me show you. I'm going to slide a flower bead onto it, bring it all the way down. I'm going to snip off the excess pin, leaving about 3/8 of an inch or so. And now using my round nose pliers, I'm going to grab the end, and I'm grabbing it near the tip of my pliers because I want the loop to be pretty small. And I'm simply going to coil it all the way down until I hit the bead. And that's how I'm going to do these. Let me just show you. I know it looks kind of weird, but once I mount it on top of the skull, it's going to look really cool. And part of the reason I did it like that is because I want the coils to be very close to the bead versus having a wrap loop. And let me show you how I'm going to do the bicones. It's going to be basically the same way. Let me slide one on. You could bend it a little bit if you want it more centered, like this. Snip off the excess. Grab it near the tip and coil it until you hit the bead. So that one's done. And it doesn't matter if this one's not centered because obviously it's on the side of the bead because the bead's not drilled up and down. But that's how I'm going to do all of them. So let me quickly do it off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, my dangles are done and I have my skull bead and my drop. And now we're going to assemble everything. I'm going to use some 20 gauge wire. And again, it's in a gunmetal color. And now with my flat nose pliers, these are called tapered flat nose pliers. I always forget to mention it, but whenever I use them, people always ask me. But anyway, I'm going to grab the wire like this at 3/8 of an inch down, bend it, grab it with my round nose pliers, making sure that it's flush with my barrels, and I'm going to form a loop. You want to make sure your loop is centered and closed. And now I need to decide which beads to slide on first. I think I'm going to slide a blue crystal, and now one of these flower beads, and now an orange one, another blue crystal, and the other flower bead. Let me just pick it up. So that's what we have so far. And now the skull. I'm going to arrange them at the top to see how it looks. And if it doesn't look right, you can always change things. And I'm actually going to change it because I don't like these 2 flower beads to be too close. So let me do this again. I'm going to start with a flower bead this time. And now one of these blue beads. And now an orange one. And now the other flower bead. And now a blue crystal. I think that's okay, it'll have to do. So now let me go ahead and slide my skull back on. Arrange them a little bit until they look right. And I think that looks super cute, it really does. So now I'm going to form a loop at this end. So I'm going to grab the wire at the base of the bead, bend it, snip off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch, approximately. Grab it, form another loop. Let me line up my loops. I think that looks really adorable. It really does. And for the drop, I'm going to use the ball head pin. Here I have another one. I'm going to slide it onto the ball head pin like this. Grab the pin at the top of the bead like this. Bend it. Reposition my pliers. Wrap the tail around the nose of the pliers. Flip the pliers around. Continue to wrap to the back. So now I have a loop. I'm going to grab the tail and do a couple of wraps. Snip off the excess pin. Tuck in the little ant if you see one. Let me straighten this loop out a little bit. So that's done. And now I just need to open up this loop. Slide my dangle into it and close it. So there's my cute little pendant. I think it's adorable. One of the nice things about working in my upstairs studio, I have two of them, one in the basement and the other one in one of the rooms upstairs. But anyway, I'm right up against the window, and at this time of the day, the sunlight comes in, and I love that. It really puts me in a good mood. So now we're going to work on the lower part of the necklace. Let me get the materials for that. Here are the beads for the bottom part of the necklace. I also have a 6mm jump ring that I'm going to attach to the pendant. Let's go ahead and do that first. I'm simply going to slide it through the loop at the top, like this, and let me close it. I'm going to put it off to the side. Now for these, I'm going to use some 18 gauge wire, and it's in a gunmetal color as well, and I want to keep this curve, so I'm not going to straighten it out. And I'm going to cut myself about a 5-inch piece, something like that. So now I'm going to form a loop. I'm going to grab the wire at 3/8 of an inch down, bend it. As you can see, I have the curve coming this way, and I bent the wire in the opposite direction. And now let me grab it with my round nose pliers and form a loop. And again, you want to make sure your loop is nicely closed. So there's my loop. So now I'm going to slide my beads on. I'm going to slide the drop with the small end first, this way, so the wide part of the bead is facing that way. And now I'm going to go ahead and slide all of these beads on in this order. Now before I go any further, I do want to slide the pendant on. So I have 4 beads on. I'm going to go ahead and slide my pendant onto it like this. And now the rest of them. So here's what I have so far. And now I need to form a loop at this end. So I'm going to grab the wire right where the bead is, bend it, cut off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch, and form a loop at this end. And again, you want to make sure you close your loops nicely. So now this part's done. Now the nice thing about this component is that you can bend it if you want to. I'm actually going to take it to the mirror once I attach my strands to see if I need to bend it more or straighten it out more. And now I'm going to attach this bead. And now I'm going to attach this bead. As you can see, I've already glued it to the bezel. But before I attach it, I want to talk to you about the orientation of the loops. As you can see, the loops on this component are horizontal or parallel to my mat, and that's what you want. Therefore, the loops on this flower component are vertical or perpendicular to the mat. And that's important because, as you can see, the loops on this component are parallel, and they need to be able to connect properly to that one. In other words, you wouldn't want the loops on this flower component to be horizontal, because then it wouldn't connect properly to this one here, unless you use jump rings. And again, you simply put some glue in there. You want to make sure you have enough glue in there so that it holds the bead, but you don't want too much because you don't want it overflowing. And you definitely want to let it dry. So hopefully this one's dry. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it won't fall out of the bezel. I'm simply going to open up this loop, slide the component into it, and close it. Isn't this adorable? Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the asymmetrical look. So now let's measure it. From the tip of that flower to the pendant is about 3.5 inches. And let me see this side. On this side, it looks like it's 1 3/4 inches. So this is where you have to decide how long you want your necklace to be. I think I want mine to be about 18 inches, something like that. And of course, you have to take into account that the jump rings and the lobster clasp are going to add to the overall length. Here are the beads for the strands, and this is going to be super easy, guys. It really is. I'm going to build beaded components with simple loops and connect them. That's basically it. So let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to remove these because if I don't, my camera doesn't focus very well. I have a piece of wire here. It's 20 gauge. Once again, I'm grabbing it at the top, bending it, grab the end, making sure it's flush with my barrels, form a loop. I'm going to slide a bead on. Grab the wire, bend it, cut off the excess, leaving 3/8 of an inch, grab the end, and form another loop. Let me line up my loops. So there's one. Actually, let me close this loop a little bit more. You really do want to make sure you do that. That's better. And then once you have them all created, you simply link them. I have another one here that I made ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead and open up the loop this way, slide this one in, and close it. And now I have 2 beads connected, and that's all there is to it. It's very easy. So I'm going to keep connecting these beaded components until I get the length that I need, and then we'll come back and finish the necklace. So I'll see you in a few moments. So here's my beaded strands. That's one of them. And here's a shorter one for this side. Now, once I connect it, I'm going to take it to the mirror to figure out exactly how long I want the necklace to be and whether or not I need to remove some components. But let's go ahead and connect them. I'm going to open up the loop of this one. Slide it into this loop. And now let me open up this one and slide it into this component. What a festive and fun looking necklace this is. So let me go ahead and take it to the mirror, and then when I come back, we'll attach the clasp. Okay, the necklace is perfect. I measured it again, and each side measures 8 1/4 inches from the pendant up. And as far as the number of beads, I have 13 of these dark beads on this side and 9 on that side. Now yours may be different depending on the size of your loops. Now I do want to attach this extended chain, and I'm going to embellish it. I'm going to use one of these beads. I have one on a ball head pin. I'm going to grab it with my round nose pliers, bend it, reposition my pliers, wrap the tail around the barrel of my pliers, flip the pliers around, wrap to the back. Let me open up this loop. Slide my chain into it. Hopefully my camera is focusing. Sometimes when I have too much underneath on my mat, it doesn't focus too well. And now let me grab the tail and do some wraps. Snip off the excess. And tuck in the little tail, if you see one. So now that's done. Of course, I need to attach this charm. I have a 5mm jump ring. I'm going to slide the charm into it, and then this loop. Let me close it. So now that's attached. I'm going to open up this loop, slide my chain into it, close it up. You really don't need a jump ring at this end. You could attach one if you want to, but you really don't need it. So now I'm going to use the 4mm jump ring for this end. So this necklace is finished. Now I know this necklace isn't for everybody, but if you're going to some carnival or Mardi Gras party, I think it'd be perfect for that. So now let me get the earrings. And here they are. They're identical to the pendant. So obviously I didn't think I'd have to show you again how to make them. The only thing that's different is that I have 2 orange crystals and 1 blue one at the top, whereas on the pendant I have 2 blue ones and 1 orange crystal. And of course I do have the 2 Czech flower beads, just like the pendant. Now I haven't attached the earwire hook because I want to show the beginners. And by the way, these earwire hooks are stainless steel. Obviously if you have some gunmetal ones that are lead and nickel free, they'd be better. But anyway, if you're a beginner, you may not know that you can actually open up the loop of the earwire hook. And I'm going to do that because I don't want to disturb the dangles at the top. I'm just worried that if I open up the loop at the top, the dangles will slip out or move around. So let me show you. It's very easy. You simply open it up like that. And now I'm going to slide it into the loop of the earring and close it right back up again. And that's all there is to it. So now let me get the necklace and I'll arrange everything on my mat. So here's the whole set. I think it's very cheerful, very colorful. I love the asymmetrical look. I like the transition of the colors down here from amber to fuchsia, and I love the pop of blue as well. And of course, it definitely symbolizes the celebration and remembrance that occurs on Dia de los Muertos. I actually speak Spanish, so I can say it the right way. Dia de los Muertos. But anyway, guys, I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. As always, I'm going to model these pieces for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.